Christmas time. It is December. So it's not only Christmas, but it's the girlie's birthday this month. So it's a lot to be grateful for.
It's just been a great year for me. All in all, I'm so grateful. So grateful for you.
Yeah.
So grateful for the platform we're creating, the growth that we're seeing.
Definitely.
The doors that God is opening.
Yeah.
We prayed and prayed for destiny helpers.
Yes.
And God has put so many and friends and loved ones consistently watching and consistently giving us feedback.
Yeah.
It's just so heartwarming.
It's nice. And
it's so heartwarming.
Even the kids, my kids are 6 and 3, and they know when they see Auntie Memi, are you recording a podcast?
Welcome to
Marriage Pinnacle's Chats from the Peak, where God's favorites link up. My name is Dr. Lara.
And I'm Memi.
And this is Marriage Pinnacle. Woo-hoo. Hey, y'all. I mean, you can see the colors. You can see the sweater. It's Christmas time. It is December. It is
time.
All right, Mariah. Stop, shorty. Okay.
All right. For Christmas.
I'm not doing it with you.
Is you okay? I'm not
Girl. Karaoke melons in her bed. It's December, y'all, and so it's not only Christmas, but it's the girlie's birthday this month. So it's a lot to be grateful for.
December, babies.
It's finally December. It's the best month of the year.
We
are here. So welcome to Marriage Pinnacle. So this is Chats from the Peak, where we discuss all things marriage, all things relationships, and we do it from a clinical lens, a cultural lens, and a bit of life experience.
Yeah.
So we want to thank you for rocking with us from January to December. This is going to be our close up. We told you guys the season was over, but we just couldn't leave you guys without having a little Christmas closeout episode to just talk about what we're grateful for, just really close out the year with a bang. And we are so grateful that you guys have been with us.
Yes.
So, Mems, before we even get into everything, just catch up. I feel like we talk all the time, but maybe they haven't heard from you in a little bit. So what's new? What's been going on with you?
December, again, like you said, is my favorite month. I love the transition. I love that it's my birthday, of course. Christmas, just the holidays, you can't beat that. And I just love that transition, that turning of a new page, that feeling like a blank. Like I tell everybody, my favorite holiday is New Year's. 'Cause I just love that renewed feeling, that you just feel like that freshly, new beginning. Even though we all know it's not really a new beginning, it's really not. It's really not. It's just really time, and time is a social construct. It's not real.
She about to go down a rabbit hole.
Don't take me there. Don't let me start doing all that. But just mentally, it just always feels like a fresh start, which is always refreshing for me. And this has just been a really good year.
It has been.
I just really how the past couple years have just been treacherous. And 2024 hasn't been all great. Of course, there is no such thing as that perfection. But I think for me personally, my journey and just spiritually, mentally, everything, it's just been a great year for me. Just putting myself in, and we talked about y'all know everything that's going on. So y'all have been with me this whole year, key. So y'all have seen the journey. Yeah. I've talked about how I see joy and how I view happiness and just finally feeling like I've freed myself from the depths of grief and it's just
you've really blossomed.
Thank you.
Not bloomed, but blossomed. Inside joke, y'all. 'Cause this one going to confuse it every time. But you blossomed.
Please. Not bloom, but blossom is insane because same word.
To you, it's the same word. Bloom,
thing.
blossom is the same word to you, without the S and the S in the middle.
Please continue.
Continue. Yes, that's good. I'm glad, but you really have blossomed.
Thanks,
I'm proud of you.
Thanks. Yeah. And I just feel like the podcast has just played such a big part.
Yeah.
Because it's I know Lara thinking about Marriage Pinnacle and we talked about this before. It's been something that's been in my head for years, and I think just having someone with me that has that understands the vision and is like, I feel like we're always lockstep.
Yeah.
And I could not have asked God, I'm about to cry.
Don't cry, girl.
Please.
And I don't got no tissue. Please don't cry. Wow, it's not me this time. It's actually crazy because it's usually me.
But I just feel like, because it's like, sometimes I'll be like, maybe, like everything I do, I always need a partner, but I just feel like that's for a reason.
Yeah,
Like, I just feel like I wasn't meant to carry out missions alone. I wasn't, you're not meant to, like, you don't have to do things by yourself.
Yeah.
And I just
Marriage.
think, exactly. That's why we're here.
That's crazy.
But I just feel like, I feel like we were put together for a reason.
Yeah.
And I just feel like just constant confirmation.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm just like, Lara, calm down. You're just like, Memi, but why not? And I'm just like, Lara, but let's think about this. And you're like, but Memi, let's just do it. Let's just jump out there.
Black Friday. Y'all don't even know.
Y'all
don't even understand what I wanted to do for Black Friday, but it's fine. It's moved on in this past, and it's okay.
But it's today.
Can you stop? Can you stop?
Not technically today, but
yeah, figuratively.
But yeah, all in all, I'm so grateful. Like, so grateful for you. Yeah. So grateful for the platform we're creating, the growth that we're seeing.
Definitely.
The doors that God is opening.
Yeah.
Like, we prayed and prayed for like destiny helpers.
Yes.
And God has put so many in.
Agreed.
Like, our videographer is one.
Yeah.
Our like,
shout out to Dope.
Shout out to Big Toes.
He's shaking his head like,
he kind of seems like, y'all get on my nerves. He cannot stand us. But he loves us.
He does.
But just everything, like Elizabeth, just so many things that God has put in line for us.
Yeah.
I'm just so grateful, y'all. My heart is just overwhelmed. But now we're just grateful for what God has done for us this year.
Yes,
like very happy. Lara, how about you?
I would say that this year has been a joyous year. I feel like joy has been a consistent theme. I've been trying to make sure that I hold on to. I feel like for the most part, I would say I'm super blessed. Like I am blessed. I'm not even for the most part. I am absolutely blessed. 100%. I believe that in terms of Marriage Pinnacle, the continued growth, the steady climb, just the comfortability, just even with the podcast and like the reception we've gotten from like our like listeners, I think all of that has been such a blessing, and it's just confirmed that like, okay, I think we've even honed in on like the need to really prioritize the podcast even because that was something that was just like an addition to everything we were doing, but we realized that
podcast conference we went to,
game changer.
It really set us apart, like for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
It changed things for us.
So I went to a podcast. I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast.
I don't think so.
So I went to a podcast conference back in August, and it was called Podcast Movement. It's literally the biggest podcast platform convention like in the country, and it was such a game changer for me. I went on behalf of us. I learned so much. I met some incredible people that you're gonna likely see on a podcast next year. We've learned about how to streamline our vision. So it was so informative and so helpful for us, and really just let us know that like we have something great. And you guys have confirmed that. We believe it. God's confirmed it to us. And so we're really, really happy about just, again, where the podcast is going. We're so excited for what y'all going to see next year.
Season
2.
New
shows, coming on strong.
By God's grace.
New shows. We have new shows on the tuck.
Excited.
So we're really, really excited about next year. And just the guests that we have coming, and we're really, really blessed. So from that standpoint, just blessed. Just again, streamlining our vision. We've taken some courses to really help with our strategy.
Building out our staff.
Yeah, building out our staff. So we're growing. So for sure, when I think about Marriage Pinnacle, I cannot thank God enough. For me, I think spiritually, this has been like I've grown so much spiritually. I've just had to rely on God so much this year just because I feel like I've been doing a lot of things by my own might, like always having God in the background, in the forefront.
But thinking it's your power,
but thinking it's me. Thinking like, oh yeah, if I just do this, if I work harder, and I think that I've had to rely on God just more than ever this year. And I feel like that's been such a blessing because I feel like He's shown up for me. So that's been good. And then just family wise, blessed. I became an official auntie this
real
year.
deal.
Like real deal. Like I've had nieces and nephews on my
love
husband's
that.
side, but like officially my siblings both had babies this year.
Amen.
So like you don't understand. My little Noe and my KJ boy, you don't understand. Like I'm just overjoyed.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
And so I'm happy about that. So like it's just been blessings and increase on all sides. And I just like even you talking about marriage pinnacle, like it's crazy because I've never thought of like it was not until Clubhouse that I was like, yo, Memi, we should do something. But I always felt like I was going to do something.
Yeah.
But what that something
Alignment
was
is insane.
Yeah, so God
Alignment
is just
crazy.
it's just crazy. Like if you check out our Getting to Know Us episode, we talk about this a lot. But like myself and Memi have known each other since we were little.
Yeah.
Like literally since we were like 7, 8 years old. And it's great to finally be at this stage where we're on the other side where our kids are this age and like we're building something for our kids, and it warms my heart. So all in all, a good year. It's been a good year.
What a year.
Yeah, like I know there's things that, obviously were unexpected. I lost my uncle this year, which was unexpected, but I just am grateful because I know where he went. Like I know absolutely where he went. And I'm grateful that like his children my cousins are blessed, and they're doing well. And, I just thank God for that. So, all in all, I would say a great year, and just, I'm so excited for 2025.
Same.
So now that we ramble a little bit,
definitely did a lot right there.
tell me, okay, before we get into like the podcast stuff and stuff, I have some questions for you. December, like we mentioned, are both of our birthdays. Our birthdays are both in December.
10 days apart.
Yeah, 10 days apart. We don't need to say nothing more than that. We don't need to say a
10 days
year.
apart, but she still didn't call me auntie.
Never gonna do that. Never
Sister?
gonna do that. And never gonna do that. Should I kneel down to you?
Sister Memi, I mean, not too bad. I'm 10 days older than you.
We're not going to get into anything. I'm going to let her rock today and give her that she's 10 days older, sure. Because where I want to go with this. And I'm not going
that should have been here. Okay, yeah, you're right. Next
topic. Next topic. But what I am going to say is, so we're in December. What do you have planned for the B-Day?
I don't have much planned.
Really?
Yeah, like I really saw myself in Cabo on the beach.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Oh, I don't think you mentioned that to me yet.
Whatever. That was my plan from January. I said, I don't ever want to be home on my birthday again.
Yeah, but you do go somewhere for your birthday.
I tried.
Wait, Miami wasn't last
year. That was
2022.
22, right. 2023, I don't even remember what I did. But I think lately I've been like really chilling on my birthdays. I used to be like, oh, let's do something. But lately I've just been kind of like, just gonna do nothing, or just probably go to dinner with Dapo. Last year, Dapo took me to Mariah Carey concert.
That's right.
Yes,
that's why you said it's time.
That's my sis.
Yeah,
I don't play by Mariah, but
you and Aya. So shout out to Aya
Mariah Carey.
That's our girl. Loves. I don't know who loves Mariah Carey more.
I think she got me beat just a little bit. But we up there because there's not a lot of like lambs out here. Like I feel like it's a very niche fandom. Yeah. So when I see someone out there,
lamb is her thing.
Yeah, lambs. Okay, we're lambs. But I feel I'm not a big stan culture girl, but I go up for Mariah. I don't play by her. But I feel like I don't see a lot of people that like people try to like down her, like they try to play on her name. They say, oh, she only has one song every year. Oh, she lost her voice when she got older. But Mariah is Mariah
in Mariah Carey face. Yeah. And people who do that, it's actually disrespectful.
Dapo's one of them. Dapo.
Really?
He be playing with Mariah.
Nah.
He be like,
she be shaky sometimes, but like that's
she do get shaky,
it's not even a shakiness,
older.
But she's older, number one. But the thing is, she's consistent. When she drops music, it's good. It's going to
You cannot play by her pen.
And her vocals, her pen, nah.
Mariah, we love you.
That's actually crazy to people playing.
Send us free tickets.
We would gladly come.
We'll come to the residency. If
Always
you ever
Be My Baby will forever be in my heart. Always. Like that song right there.
I love like she has so many good hits. So many good songs.
Yeah. No, for sure.
So,
wow.
So this year, I don't know. Nothing really. Probably just chill. I'm taking pictures
Okay,
for my
yeah,
birthday
you're
because I just
taking
wanted to
pictures.
commemorate, like,
I love that
this
you do that.
year.
I love that you
Yeah,
do
this was
that.
like like
Yeah.
this year was like like a realigning year for me. So
That's
I'm like, I just
good.
want to capture it.
Yeah.
Sorry, but yeah, that's it for me.
Okay.
Nothing crazy. How about
Yeah.
you?
So my birthday, yeah. So same with you. I feel like I always want to. I always do celebrate my birthday. I won't. Like I do celebrate my birthday, whatever it is, big or small. I'm gonna do something to commemorate my birthday. But I think this year, like I just have been in such, and I've been teaching the kids about gratitude
Yeah.
and thankfulness. And I think this year I want to do something where like I'm giving back in some capacity. So
That's good.
I don't know how I'll do it. I don't know if I'll do it with just the kids or if I will do like my girlfriends, but I want to do something where I'm either giving food to the homeless or if I'm doing something like at a soup kitchen or something. Like I
that's
know
good.
for sure this year I'm doing something along the lines
Okay.
of like giving back.
I can ask my friend. She does
Yeah.
a lot of stuff with homeless
Yeah,
in Baltimore
yeah,
and stuff like
appreciate that. Yeah, so
So
I
can
definitely know
her.
I'm gonna be doing something in that vein.
Okay.
And like my girlfriend, earlier this year, she to commemorate her mom's the loss of her mom, we gave food out to like homeless in Baltimore. But what I loved about it is that she brought her daughter. Her daughter was 3 months old.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and she was out there, and so
Wow.
that like touched me because I'm like, it's never too early to start
Serving.
cultivating a culture of serving in your home.
Yeah.
So that really touched me, and like I was really intentional about Thanksgiving for the kids this year, where I made sure like it's not about turkey, guys. It's not about getting with your cousins and things like that. And Mimi giving you a gift because Mimi gonna give you a gift for every holiday. It's not about that. It's about like why are we thankful? And so like
Yeah.
literally I had to like sit them down and like teach them. And so like Levi the next day he was like, Mommy, I want to donate my clothes. I want to donate the clothes that I can't fit anymore to people who need them. And I'm like, that is what I want. You know what I mean? So like for me, I feel like this year I'm definitely going to incorporate that in some regard for my birthday.
good.
Dinners will always be nice and I'm always grateful for those. And I
Yeah.
I love a good dinner.
Yeah,
Love a good dinner.
She don't play.
Never not gonna
play.
accept a dinner. Love a dinner. But
Check me out,
I
baby.
definitely want to give back this year.
That's
Yeah.
good. I love that.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
amazing.
Yeah, so December and then Christmas. It hasn't snowed just yet,
Yeah,
at least when we drop this
it's getting
episode.
cold enough.
But it's getting cold. It's getting chilly. Have to bundle up. Let my mom tell us she wants me to put the gloves and the hats on the kids already and the scarves.
It's time.
It's about that time. It's
40
about that
degrees?
time.
Oh, yeah.
It's about
Bring
that
it
time.
out. 50 degrees.
So Christmas. Any plans for Christmas?
Christmas, I haven't decided yet, but I think I might host the family. I don't know yet, but I might.
Yeah, nice.
Because my dad wanted me to host Thanksgiving, but we normally split Thanksgiving. So we normally
That was same with us.
Yeah,
Same with
we
us.
normally do afternoons with my family and evenings with his family.
Okay.
So that's what we did for Thanksgiving this year.
Okay.
And so for Christmas is more kind of like up in the air, wishy-washy.
Gotcha.
When the kids were younger, everybody wanted to be at our house because, the kids they want to see the kids open the gifts and stuff.
Yeah.
But now that they're older, it's kind of like everybody just kind of do their own thing.
Yeah.
So I might offer to
nice.
host. And I've hosted Christmas a couple of times.
Yeah.
So I might host Christmas.
Okay, nice. Yeah, Christmas will likely be at my mother-in-law's and my mom's, and so
Okay.
we'll split too.
So you split Christmas too?
Yeah, we
Okay.
typically all the holidays, girl.
Yeah, you
all
guys
the
split
holidays.
everything? Wow.
Yeah, but or like if my sister-in-law might do like a brunch or a lunch on actual the day before Christmas,
Okay.
and then if that's the case, then we'll just do Christmas with my mom.
Okay, you
and my
guys,
dad.
last year, I'm about to put her on blast. Last year, Lara had a huge little party at her house, and it was a pajama.
Can you change the word
Sorry.
party? It was not a party, please. It was a pajama jam brunch.
It was a pajama jam brunch, and it was, it wasn't huge, but it was so much food, amazing food at that. Tala's mom made this egg stew, and I promise you, I have not stopped thinking about that egg stew since last year. I have not, and so I'm begging Lara, everybody,
Other
help
people
me
have been
beg her.
sliding in my text message like, so are we running
Everybody
back?
help me beg her, please.
It's too close to Christmas.
She still has time if y'all. Well, I don't know when this episode's coming out, but hopefully she has enough time to put it together at last minute because the food was endless. Like if you see, she has this enormous island here, and the food was covered. The island was covered in food.
We thank God.
Everybody had a great time.
We did have a
Lara,
good
do it
time.
again.
Okay, so Christmas and birthday plans.
Check.
And so let us know in the comments what you guys are doing for Christmas.
We're interested. What are y'all doing? How do y'all commemorate your holidays
Yes,
and you know, birthdays, I guess?
Yes, the kids are going to be home. The birthday babies or December birthday babies. How you guys
commemorate? I got you.
Thank you, babes. Appreciate
that.
Two
of us.
How you guys planning to celebrate the birthdays, Christmas, all of the good things? You know, we love, like we said, we love December, and we just love, again, it's the end of a year, but the expectation of a new year, new beginnings. And I feel like that's, to me, I think that's even what the episode is a little bit about. Like, you're ending something to walk into something new, you know? And so I feel like, what was your, before we kind of talk a little bit about our gems and things like that, like, what was your highlight in terms of like Marriage Pinnacle this year?
In terms of Marriage Pinnacle, so many. So I'm gonna give you a few. So Marriage Pinnacle highlights: number one, releasing a podcast, of course, having our first episode.
Yes.
Every time I get feedback about the podcast, every time someone tells me I was watching your podcast, I'ma cry. Like it don't matter. Like I was talking to one of my little sisters. She was like, "Yeah, I was just watching your episode," and I'm like, "Were you really?" Like, still extremely just
grateful,
blown away.
Yeah.
So we don't have like the most views on YouTube by any means, but
I know people have millions. We take our thousands.
We're gonna take our thousands, and just every time someone just sees us and just tells us, like you don't even like you'll be like, "Y'all funny," I cry. Like I get so emotional about the podcast, and so. I just appreciate that again. Thank you guys. But that's number one to highlight for me. Actually releasing a podcast. Being consistent.
That's
oh my God.
That is good. That is good.
Because that is a long pole in the tent for me. What? Consistency? Not my thing. Yeah. So for us to be consistent like this, I mean, just I cannot thank God enough. I cannot thank you enough. Yeah. But just grateful for that. Yeah. Another highlight. And then I think put it in our final order on our cards. And our cards actually come in.
Oh, Lord.
A labor of love.
A labor of love.
But they are here, guys.
We've been saying that.
We were saying they're here, but no, they're actually here.
They're actually here.
Like, you can order them and they'll be at your house in a couple days.
Literally.
Like, they're finally here. When I say labor of love, wow. A year in the making, guys. Amazing. Yeah. Like, hate to gas ourselves, but sometimes you just have to gas yourself. It just is what it is. These cards are incredible.
Yes. Like, and the packaging, we took our time. And the thing is so crazy because, like, we were, right before we recorded this episode, we were like, oh, we can do this. We can edit this. We can change this. So, like, even when we sell out all these cards and then order, it's going to be different. Yeah. But the thing is, we took our time and we had to go back and forth with our manufacturer. We had to make sure the consistency was right, but the feel of the cards was right. Yeah. Everything, the size, the font, everything. But we're so proud of them. And honestly, like, the cards are for you all. They are for married couples. They are for dating and engaged. We have two separate decks, not the same questions. Like, we have different questions for our married folk. We have separate questions for our dating and engaged folks. We are trying to bring to the forefront things that you should probably talk about in the dating and engaged space to avoid these issues in marriage. Yep. And then in the marriage space, we want to make sure that you are constantly in a mode of reflection, right? You are constantly in a mode of continued conversation. So we are so proud of these cards. It's not even about gassing ourselves, but we really took our time with these. Like, we know there are hundreds, thousands of conversation cards, but we can beat our chest and say that we know that these are some top tier.
Like, we've tested them out. Me and Dapper have used them on date nights. And I'm telling you, one question, 30, 40 minutes of conversation. Just off of one question.
Absolutely.
And I've been with Dapper for how many years?
20 years, bro.
2007. And it's like we can still have insightful, deep conversations because there's so many things that change about us in the process. So many things that I would never even think to ask him. Yeah. Or so many conversations that we would never have even ever reached without having prompters like this. So, guys, telling you guys, this is it. Like, I know my sister-in-law, she has conversation cards. She keeps them on like her dining room table, and she just
Picks
when they're having dinner, she has family ones for her and her kids.
Yeah.
And so that might be a good idea for us down the line, a family pack.
Definitely.
And she just keeps it on the thing, and then when they're eating, they just pick it up and have conversations. I think that's a really great idea.
Yeah. So we believe in those. That wasn't even we didn't plan to put that in there, but
sorry for the plugs.
Yeah, you said that you were proud. I mean,
I'm proud of it.
I'm proud of it too, girl.
Definitely a highlight for me.
Definitely. The fact that they arrived, you don't understand when
Unscathed.
they hit my doorstep and the ring light picked it up. I immediately screamed. I immediately
Sent me a
FaceTimed
text like,
I screenshot it and everything because that was the highlight. It touching our doorstep.
Yeah,
just think about it. It was, you create them, you send in the proofs and the edits, they send them back, you going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They have to send you a sample to make sure it's actually what you want. So we wait for those, give them the edits, re-edit. Like it can be a little traumatic. So for them arriving at my doorstep was the highlight. Not the actual cars themselves, arriving on my doorstep.
Lara was dancing for like 2 hours.
I really was. And I'm not gonna show y'all the dance I was doing, but I was, for those of y'all watching on YouTube, but I was dancing. So that is a highlight. I would say a highlight for me, and this is not to plug. I feel like, again, we know we have like some consistent listeners, people who listen and they say certain things in the podcast. But what I will say is I'm gonna shout my brother-in-law out because he knows he's watched every episode.
I love him for that.
No, like, and it's not, and the thing is, I don't have, there's other people I know that watch the episodes and things, but it's the fact that he's a man, number one.
Yeah.
He's so intentional about listening to what we say, and I don't think he doesn't have to do it
at all.
Like literally, like there's people we know that don't watch it and they family, and it's just like, okay, that's fine. But like he intentionally watches the episodes, and he has been able to literally document the growth that we've had. He was like, "Oh, Lara, I noticed you and Memi did this." Like,
I love him.
In every episode.
Like he's so like I saw him in person at Gabby's birthday party.
Yeah.
And he was like, "How's your teeth?" And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "You was talking about it on the podcast." I'm like, "Oh my God."
Literally.
Please.
Yeah, like he is so intentional. And like, so I'm like, that is a highlight for me because yes, we know we're females. Like, and you know, it's like just some things a guy's gonna be like, I ain't listen to this. Like, but he is so intentional and listens to it and like points out things. Like him and my sister both watch it together. Like they literally have date night on Tuesdays or Thursdays and watch the podcast together. Oh my gosh, this is too much. It's crazy. It's usually me crying, guys. It's actually crazy. I'm usually the one crying. So for the fact that you're crying,
like, I don't know, it's like a switch. It's like
praise God.
Somebody said they watched the podcast immediately.
Yeah, you literally crying.
I hate it here.
You love it here.
I love it here.
But yeah, so like they both watch together. So shout out to both of them. But like I am like really, really grateful because they watch every episode. And like they both are like, "Oh, Lara, you know, oh, we like when we did the 4 Horsemen episode, they were talking to us about it. They were talking to me about it." And so like that's a highlight for me.
Yeah.
You know, and so like we love feedback. We are feedback girlies. So like in the comments, let us know if you've watched, like what episode's your favorite. You know, like what has been a favorite episode of yours? Because those are the highlights for us. Like, yes, the views are nice, but like people telling us like things in the episode that they've
actually
done.
Like sitting with you.
And, like that is such a highlight for me, and I'm so grateful. Even my sister-in-law, she watches the episode. She usually listens to it on her way to work. And so Laya, and so she'll be like, y'all didn't drop an episode today, and we're like, okay, we a little behind. We a little behind. We gonna get the episode out today. So like that too, like waiting for the episodes, like waiting for it to drop, and like I'm so grateful for that.
It's so nice. And then and you know, a lot of people, they'll tell you like when you're building, don't rely on your friends and family. Like they'll tell you that, right? Like friends and family is not going to get you to where you want to be. And it's like, yeah, we get that, but I just love that friends and family is kind of what's fueling us right now.
Yeah, right now.
And it's just such a comforting, warm, fuzzy feeling. Because there's a lot of people building things and have no family support. Yeah, and that's I'm sure that makes it harder.
It does.
So the fact that we have our family and friends and loved ones like consistently watching and consistently giving us feedback, it's just so heartwarming. It's nice. And like so heartwarming.
Even the kids, like my kids are 6 and 3, and they know when they see Auntie Memi, are you recording a podcast? My 3-year-old.
They want to be on the show so bad.
They want to be on that show bad. Zion, She said, welcome to
That's
Chapter
my
the Peak.
favorite
Like,
That's
so like
part.
literally, so like we have our village around us, and that's
Yeah.
like we cannot take that for granted. And then like even when people come up to us
Yeah.
and be
Girl,
like,
I'm never gonna get the homecoming one. That was a lot.
yeah,
What's going
like
on?
my little sis like came up to Memi, was like, "Oh my gosh, you're Memi," and I'm just like, we know we not nowhere near celebrities,
That
and
was
we
so
don't even play
cute,
like
though.
we're
It was
okay with that,
adorable.
but just to appreciating that people like are taking the time to watch us and feel like they know us a little
Yeah,
bit.
I love that.
So that's a highlight for me.
Oh yeah,
for
when
sure.
I saw he gonna be mad. I forgot his name. From Introduce Us to the Deaconess.
Oh, Coxie!
Coxie, yeah.
Shout
I
out
was
to
like,
Cox.
look at his name. I'm like, I know it's a double K in
Yeah,
there, but I
yeah,
can't remember
Coxie.
how it.
Yeah.
Coxie.
Yeah.
And he saw Dapper. He was like, man, Dapper, I know a lot about you. And Dapper was like, what?
Yeah, crazy because we
I
talk
love you,
enough
Coxie. Thank you.
about our husbands
Yeah.
on here. So yeah, so people, that's just a blessing. So we like
Yeah.
again, our village, we don't take it for granted. Again, we our prayers to get to the masses, but like we know we do not despise humble beginnings. You know, we don't despise humble beginnings, and we're so
It's actually a lot
grateful.
more comfortable.
It is low key.
Ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, low key.
But
Because
of
at
course
least
we
our
wanna get
family
to
gonna
that.
pad the feedback.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get there before we start getting death threats in the emails.
God
I'm not
forbid.
ready for that.
Ready for that.
Yeah, God. Please
So, but yeah, that's been a highlight for me this year. And I just like again, I don't. We say it all the time. Like doing this with each other has been such a joy.
You know you want to hold my hand.
I'm not crying with you today. I refuse. This is a good episode. It's a fun episode. But yeah, it's been a joy, ma'am. Like I can't even lie. But like switching gears just a bit, obviously like talking about doing this with somebody, like as we close out the year, we do think it's important that you guys do take time to reflect, right? And do that with your spouse, do that with your partner. Because sometimes it's difficult and to remember, like maybe you've had a really rough year and maybe things didn't really go the way that you wanted them to go. And so it can be really hard to kind of remain in that vein and forget all of the things that have happened throughout the year that you need to reflect on. So something that we really, really, really encourage is taking out a day, and I'm not saying the whole day, but like a date night or, you know, where you maybe have the kids kind of like doing their own thing and you sit down and you intentionally reflect about the year. Yeah.
What's it called in Scrum when you do the like?
Oh, the retro.
The retro.
Come on now.
Come on,
for all our
Scrummies.
PM girlies,
All our Scrum girlies.
our PM husbands,
Husband.
all of y'all. You know, if you've done
Yeah.
anything agile, you know, typically one of the ceremonies is the retro. And so basically having like a retro of retros where you literally sit down and you talk about what was good, what should we stop, what should we continue, and reflect on the year. And like, yes, look at each column and say, okay, these are some things that we implemented this year that went really, really well, and we should really continue to do these things. Some things that maybe we can pause on, like this wasn't working for us, or maybe we need to revisit how we do this thing, and then what are some things that we should continue. You know, I think even just thinking about it, like off the top of my head, one thing that me and Tola started this year was we prayed together every single day, every single morning, at 5 a.m, because that was like literally the only time that it's so easy to say, oh yeah, we'll do it at home after work, blah, blah, blah. But then he goes to bed earlier than I do, the kids, the this, the that. You get wrapped up, but it's the first thing that we do in the morning. And that is something I'm absolutely going to continue. I think that was such a good thing for us to do. And my mom had always said, you guys should pray together. And I'm like, and we do pray together, but as husband and wife, that was something that we intended to do at the start of the year that we've done since January. That I really, really appreciate.
Yeah, that's amazing. Dapo and I, like we fast, we do a fast once a week. So that like you said, it's been something that has connected us. Because now before we break our fast, we have to talk, right? Like, so it's like he gives his prayer points, I give my prayer points.
I love that.
And so it's like we just catch up. Like,
I love that.
So what's on your mind? And if, you know, when you find out what someone is praying about, you kind of get insight into like the kind of some of the deepest things about them. Like, what are the things concerning you this week? Or what are the things on at the forefront of your mind that you are asking God to help with? So, you know, if you're spiritual, if you're a Christian, or, you know, whatever you are, just that intimacy that you build from praying together or, practicing your faith together.
That's so good.
And I wanted to go back to what you said about the retros and reflections. Another good idea, something that popped in my mind, is when you said columns. Like, if you're having a hard time knowing where to start on your reflections, you can just categorize them, right? And you don't have to write it down, but you can be like, okay, what went well as in terms of home, like running our home, what happened? In terms of parenting, how did we do with the kids this year? Or family at large, how did we do? What could we do better? Our relationship, our personal relationship, our marriage, spiritually, what can we do better?
With our
financially,
finances.
That was coming.
Talk about that.
That was coming. Did we hit our goals this year? Did we do what we wanted to do? How did we overspend? Did we eat out too much? Did we, what did we do that we can scale back on, that we can do more of? Do we need to get a financial advisor? So you can kind of categorize it in that way. That can kind of help you think. Because sometimes you sit there and you're just like, I don't remember everything about this year. But when you start to, when you give everything a category, that kind of helps you, makes it kind of jogs your memory.
Yeah, and then also I think even a step further from what you said was the fact that, when you categorize, you might recognize that you felt some way about how the year went. And your spouse might not have felt the same way. And so that's a talking point, right? That's a point. And it doesn't necessarily have to cause a disagreement or an argument, but it just gives you insight to perspective. I think that even, I love that you and Dapper pray, fast every week together. So we fast as a church. So every Wednesday we fast as a church. But I think that might be a great thing for just even Tola and I. Look at me making plans for both of us. Y'all know before he do. But I love that though, because I think that really, that insight, okay, so what are you praying for? Even though we pray together each morning, so it does give us a little bit of insight, what he decides to pray about or what I decide to touch on in prayer. But I think the fasting, that, God, I'm committing this to you because I want this, or I need this, or I want to hear from you, whatever the case may be, and getting that insight from your spouse. I think that's really good. And just even with the retros, you might recognize that, in the home category or in the family category, these are some things that I felt like we did really, really well, but my husband might have a little bit more feedback or different insight or perspective that I think is really good to touch on.
I did. I know, y'all know finance is my blind spot. So I could be
not blind spot.
That's my blind spot, child. I'm getting better. I'm a work in progress.
You have been getting better, though.
I really did do good. Thank you, Lara. I did good. End of the year, quarter four. Quarter four is always kind of what I... kind of,
this is what you be
a little backslide.
You be dipping dabbing.
Quarter four is always real tough. The Black Friday sales that start in September now.
Because why is the Black Friday in September? Why?
The Black Friday sales that start, as soon as the Black Friday sales start, whenever that is, that's when they start getting me. That's when they start choking.
You're like, ooh, 30%.
Hanifa's Black Friday sale was 4 weeks ago. Black Friday is today. Well, what,
But I feel like, we do really want you guys, and honestly, I think that this is kind of indicative of how we want you guys to also see your year. We want you to be able to laugh at things, reflect on things that were funny and things like that. So yes, we're joking and we're laughing up here, but we also don't want this retros to be so serious where you guys can't laugh and reflect on some of the things that went well, or even some things that were tough, right? Because what we don't want, as big as we are about communication and having tough conversations and things like that, we don't want them to be tense-filled conversations. We know some things will be serious, right? We know that, but it is okay to laugh at certain things, right? We it's healthy, and we don't need we ain't trying to have y'all start end the year and then go in there and start the new year with a fight and say it's marriage pinnacle.
We don't want you to fight, so
and then say marriage pinnacle the reason y'all fighting.
Please.
We want you guys to, be serious, take these things seriously, but also be lighthearted. There's so much other things in the world going on that you could be upset about.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot.
Let's not have it be your reflections.
Yeah. Maybe the reflections, we like to do the sandwich method.
Yeah.
You start with what went really well. Something really positive.
Correct.
And then you kind of talk about the room for improvement in the middle. And then you kind of finish it up with the good part.
Yes. And so what I really like that you said just now, Memi, that I don't think you intentionally even did, but you said room for improvement. So she didn't say positive, negative, positive. I typically, whenever I'm like doing a coaching session or whatever, I'll say areas of growth.
Yes.
You
Areas
know,
of
like
growth. I love that.
the way you say certain things, and like I even sometimes I'll say the word input instead of feedback. You know, however you can smooth over tough conversations goes such a long way. Check out our communications episode, because we are such firm believers that it is not what you say, it is how you say it
every time.
every time.
Every
You know,
time.
in a friendship, in a marriage, in a partnership, whatever the case may be, how you say it goes such a long way. There's conversations myself and Memi have had that were tough, but like, and it's all, and I'm shouting you out a little bit right here. Memi will always be like, "Well, Lara, like da 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 da," and it just makes me, and I don't even know if I'm saying it in a negative way, but I feel like just the way that she responds lets me check to make sure that I'm saying it in a way that's not coming off harsh. And I think I don't know, she does that knowingly, but it helps me kind of check myself, like, okay, Lara, like, are you saying this in a way that's like, you know, accusatory or whatever? And if it is, you need to change that so it's not coming off that way. And I think that that is so helpful, that when we are able to kind of like take stock of how we are receiving things, how we've interpreted something, how we also say things, it just helps to have like more ease of flow in your conversations.
It does.
Yeah.
And I grew up being a very non-confrontational person, and I think as I'm maturing, I've learned that being non-confrontational is also it's a problem,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
but I still have those skills,
Yeah.
I guess. Those skills of like saying things in
Yeah.
a way that does not put people off, or
you
does
do.
not
You do.
does not come off aggressive,
Yeah.
or like I'm ready for a fight, because I'm
Yeah.
really never interested in a fight, like ever.
She's like, I'm not fighting you.
I never want to fight.
Not
Unless
interested.
I'm like already mad. But for the most part, I was like, if I want to get something across, I just want you
Yeah.
to know how I feel. I don't want
Very
to start
good at that.
beef, or I don't want to have no fight. So
Yeah.
I think that's typically why I say things in the way I say it. Like, okay, like let's think about this.
Yeah,
you know?
you're real good at that. You're real good
I
at
do.
that. Yeah.
I try to not be aggressive, but
Yeah.
I think, some people are the opposite.
Yeah.
And they grew up very confrontational. So that could be tough in a
Yeah.
relationship.
For sure.
Especially when we're talking about having these kind of conversations.
Absolutely.
Because it does require a level of like humility and understanding
Yeah.
and vulnerability.
Absolutely.
So it's like you have to create that environment where
Yeah.
that person is able to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, so what is, as we wrap up, what is one thing you want to leave our viewers with?
I think, let me think about that. I think the biggest thing, and I'm going to keep beating it with a dead horse, I'm going to keep beating this issue.
Yeah.
And it's just, joy is not a destination.
That's good.
It's more so where you're standing,
That's it.
right? Like, how are you looking at a situation? Like I said, this year was a good year for me, but I also had struggles. There was also a lot of things that weren't so great for me this year, but it's my choice was to be joyful this year. It was to be happy this year. It was to be at peace this year. And so I just advise everyone, like that's what I would want to leave with everyone, is just try to think of joyfulness and peace and happiness as a state of mind, more so of what you have or what you need or where you need to be or what you need to be doing. Think of it more so as like a mindset. Like my mindset is joyfulness. So when I view the things that life throws at me, I choose to look at it from a joyful place, and I choose to see the positive in situations versus the negatives. And I'm still struggling with some things that happened this year, looking at it from a joyful mindset, but I'm asking God to help me.
That's
with that.
good.
Yeah.
That's good, Mams. I really like that. What I would leave you all with is, I know we say this a little bit, like at the beginning of our episode, that marriage is a climb. Like, if you set the intention that every day you're going to work at your marriage, that is the end goal. That means you are always fighting another day to reach the peak of your marriage, right? And we say this every day, like, we are if we had everything figured out, we'd be rolling in like lots of money. Lots of money.
We be the Black Gottmans for real.
Yeah, we be the Black Gottmans for real, for real. But like, we are constantly working at it. You know, there are things, and like I said, what I love about the podcast is that we are not coming from a lens of like, we're here and y'all are here. We get the gems just like y'all.
I hope y'all don't ever think that.
Yeah, we get the gems just like y'all, and the same things that we're asking you guys to implement are the same things that we are having to implement in our own marriages, and in order to continue to climb. And so, again, I love that, you know, she talked about joy being a mindset because it shapes your perspective, how you view a situation, how you view a setback. It can literally alter the path and direction that you go in your marriage and your life. And so as this year ends and you guys prepare for January and you're like, okay, I'm excited. Like, don't come with the mindset of like, this is over, 2024 is over and it's just a new beginning in 2025. Yes, it's a new start, but we want you to be in the mindset of a constant climb. So yes, it's like a stop for 2024, but it's a continuous climb, because we just are believers that you can thrive in your marriage.
Yes.
Despite the challenges, despite the things that don't always go right, despite the disagreements, despite the difficult conversations, there can still be joy, you know? And so we hope you took something from this episode.
Yes, I hope so too.
Yeah, it was just a fun one that we wanted to throw out.
We had fun.
We had fun. And we want to wish you guys a Merry, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Yes.
We want you guys to stay blessed and look out because we're coming live and direct in January with another episode of Chats from the Peak.
Jesus is the reason
For the season. Oh,
yes.
Oh, yes, he is.
Oh, yes, he is.
She's karaoke mom. It's not me. It's her, not me. But thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.